Welcome to Shocking Stories, where we uncover the darkest, most chilling true crime cases that will keep you on the edge of your seat. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single story. Today, we're diving into a case that rocked the glamorous city of Miami, Florida, exposing a predator who hid behind a white coat and a charming smile. This is the story of Victor Langston, a man who promised beauty at a bargain through his upscale clinic, Eterna Beauty. But behind the polished walls of his Ocean Drive office, a nightmare was unfolding. Patients vanished without a trace, and what investigators eventually found, buried beneath the clinic floor, will haunt you long after this video ends. So, settle in, maybe keep a friend nearby, and let's unravel the deadly practice of a fake doctor who fooled an entire community for nearly a decade. And if this story grips you as much as it did me, don't forget to smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this warning. Let's set the scene in Miami, a city where image is everything. From South Beach influencers to everyday folks, cosmetic surgery is often seen as a ticket to confidence and success. Into this world stepped Victor Langston in 2014, a man who seemed to embody the American dream. With framed degrees from Johns Hopkins and UCLA adorning the walls of his sleek clinic, Eterna Beauty, Langston positioned himself as a savior for those priced out of high-end cosmetic surgery. He offered liposuction, breast augmentations, facelifts, and more at half the cost of competitors, promising life-changing results with a personal touch. His waiting room buzzed with hope. Working-class women, recent immigrants, and even some men, all drawn in by his warm demeanor and affordable rates. He made me feel like I was special, recalled Maria Gomez, one of the fortunate few who survived her encounter with Langston. He listened to my insecurities and swore he could fix them without draining my savings. I trusted him with my life. Langston's rise was nothing short of meteoric. By 2016, just 2 years after opening, Eterna Beauty was a household name in Miami's Latinx and immigrant communities. Social media ads flooded Instagram and Facebook, showcasing jaw-dropping before and after photos and glowing testimonials from satisfied clients. Word of mouth spread like wildfire, especially among those who felt excluded by the elitist world of high-end clinics. But beneath the glossy surface, a sinister reality was taking shape. Not everyone who entered Eterna Beauty left it. Between 2015 and 2023, at least 9 women vanished after scheduling procedures with Langston. Their families reported them missing, often to skeptical police who saw no immediate signs of foul play. Langston always had a polished excuse. He told investigators that some clients skipped follow-ups, others mentioned traveling abroad for recovery, and a few, he claimed, never even showed up for their appointments. His clinic's records, meticulously falsified, backed up his story, showing no trace of these women ever stepping foot inside. The first documented disappearance linked to Eterna Beauty was that of Isabella Torres, a 29-year-old single mother and waitress who booked a liposuction procedure in March 2015. Isabella had scrimped and saved for months to afford the $2,000 surgery, hoping to regain her confidence after childbirth. She confided in her sister, Elena, that she felt safe with Dr. Langston because he spoke Spanish fluently and seemed to understand her struggles as a working mom. On the day of her surgery, Isabella texted Elena a selfie from the waiting room, captioning it, "Wish me luck, can't wait to show you the new me." That was the last anyone heard from her. When Elena called the clinic 2 days later, worried that Isabella hadn't returned home, a receptionist claimed Isabella had left right after the procedure and seemed fine. Police searched her apartment, finding no signs of a struggle, and with Langston's records showing a signed discharge form, the case was shelved as a possible runaway. Elena never bought it. "My sister would never abandon her son," she later told reporters, her voice breaking. "She lived for him. Something happened at that clinic, I just knew it." Over the next several years, a haunting pattern emerged. Sofia Alvarez, a 24-year-old student, disappeared in 2017 after a breast augmentation. Her family received a text from her phone a day after the surgery saying she was taking a trip to recover, but the message didn't sound like Sofia at all. Then there was Camila Diaz, a 31-year-old hairdresser who vanished in 2019 after scheduling a facelift. Her boyfriend reported her missing, but Langston told police she had paid in cash and mentioned plans to visit family in Colombia. Each case mirrored the last. The women were often vulnerable, immigrants, low income, or without close family nearby, and their disappearances were explained away with plausible excuses. Meanwhile, Langston's lifestyle grew increasingly lavish. He drove a Porsche, lived in a waterfront condo in South Beach, and took frequent vacations to the Bahamas, all while claiming his clinic's low prices were a gift to the community. How could a discount surgeon afford such extravagance? That question would soon become the key to unraveling his deadly secret. The first significant crack in Langston's carefully crafted facade appeared in late 2022, when a former employee named Carla Rivera found the courage to speak out. Carla, a 26-year-old receptionist who worked at Eterna Beauty for 6 months in 2021, had witnessed things that haunted her dreams. She told Miami PD that she'd seen Langston performing procedures without proper anesthesia. Often in a mysterious back room, she was strictly forbidden to enter. He'd lock the door and tell me to stay at the front desk no matter what I heard, Carla recounted, her voice trembling during an interview with detectives. "One day I heard screams, blood-curdling screams. I thought it was normal for surgery, maybe someone waking up from anesthesia. But then I saw him late at night, carrying heavy black garbage bags to his car. They looked wrong, too heavy to be trash. I quit the next day. I was too scared to ask questions." Carla's fear was palpable, but her tip gave investigators a reason to take a closer look at Eterna Beauty. Could those bags have contained something or someone far more sinister than medical waste? Detective Elena Vasquez, a 15-year veteran of Miami's homicide unit, was assigned to the case. Known for her tenacity and no-nonsense approach, Vasquez had a personal connection to the community. Her own aunt had once considered a procedure at Eterna Beauty before opting out due to a gut feeling. Vasquez started by digging into Langston's background, and what she uncovered sent chills down her spine. There was no record of a Victor Langston ever attending medical school or obtaining a license to practice in Florida or anywhere in the United States. His supposed degrees from Johns Hopkins and UCLA were forgeries, created with sophisticated software and fake seals. His real name, uncovered through fingerprint matches, was Vincent Larson, a 42-year-old high school dropout from Toledo, Ohio, with a criminal history of fraud, identity theft, and petty theft dating back to his early 20s. Before arriving in Miami, Larson had operated under various aliases, running scams from fake investment schemes to selling counterfeit luxury goods. How had a con artist with no medical training managed to perform surgeries for nearly a decade without being caught? Vasquez knew she was dealing with a master manipulator, but she suspected something far worse than fraud. The missing women tied to his clinic couldn't be a coincidence. Proving Langston's involvement in the disappearances was an uphill battle. His falsified records and polished demeanor made him appear untouchable, and without concrete evidence of a crime, obtaining a search warrant for Eterna Beauty was nearly impossible. Vasquez spent months interviewing families of the missing women, piecing together a timeline of their last known movements. Many had been lured by online ads promising affordable beauty transformations, often targeting those with limited means or language barriers. Isabella Torres's sister, Elena, provided a heartbreaking detail. Isabella had borrowed money from a loan shark to pay for her surgery, desperate to feel beautiful again for her son. Sofia Alvarez's family shared a text message sent the day before her procedure. "I'm nervous, but Dr. Langston says I'll look like a model. Can't wait to show you." The message was sent from Sofia's phone, but her brother later noted the wording felt off, as if someone else had typed it. Camila Diaz's boyfriend recalled her mentioning that Langston insisted on cash payments and discouraged bringing family to appointments, claiming it was for privacy. These red flags painted a picture of a predator who targeted the vulnerable, isolating them from support systems before they stepped into his trap. The turning point came unexpectedly on March 15, 2023, when a construction crew renovating a building adjacent to Eterna Beauty reported a foul odor emanating from the alley behind the clinic. Initially suspecting a sewer leak, they alerted city officials, who sent a team to investigate. The smell wasn't coming from pipes. It was strongest near the clinic's back entrance, seeping through the concrete foundation. Health inspectors notified the police, and Vasquez finally had probable cause for a search warrant. On March 20th, her team descended on Eterna Beauty with forensic experts, cadaver dogs, and ground-penetrating radar. Langston wasn't there. He'd left for a business trip to the Bahamas the day before. But what they found inside would become one of the most gruesome discoveries in Miami's criminal history. In the basement, hidden behind a false wall panel and accessible only through a locked trapdoor, investigators uncovered a makeshift morgue. The cadaver dogs went wild as they approached the area, and when the concrete floor was broken open, the team found the remains of 7 women, their bodies partially preserved with industrial-grade formaldehyde. Dental records and personal items identified the victims as patients who had vanished over the past 8 years, including Isabella Torres, Sofia Alvarez, and Camila Diaz. Autopsies revealed a pattern of horrific malpractice and deliberate murder. Severed arteries, infections from unsterilized equipment, and overdoses of black market anesthetics. Several victims showed signs of ligature marks, indicating they had been restrained, possibly kept alive for days after their procedures as infections set in. Langston was arrested on April 2, 2023, as he returned from the Bahamas, caught at Miami International Airport, with a suitcase stuffed with cash and fake passports. During interrogation, he showed a chilling lack of remorse, smirking as he said, "They wanted beauty, and I gave them eternity." Financial records seized from his office showed he had drained the bank accounts of several victims post-mortem, using stolen identities to transfer funds through offshore accounts. For those without significant savings, he sold their personal information on the dark web, profiting even from their deaths. The trial of Vincent Larson, aka Victor Langston, began in November 2023 and became a media sensation. Prosecutors presented overwhelming evidence, and the jury convicted him on 9 counts of first-degree murder, fraud, and identity theft. He was sentenced to death, a rare penalty in Florida, reflecting the brutality of his crimes. Yet, an anonymous tip about Langston's activities in the Bahamas suggests he may have been part of a larger network, leaving investigators with chilling questions about whether his deadly practice continues under new hands. What can we learn from this horrifying case? How can we protect ourselves from predators hiding behind professional facades? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this story left you stunned, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this warning. Stay tuned to Shocking Stories, because the full truth about Victor Langston might be even darker than we've uncovered.